Okay, so I am here at the Dhamma Sukha Meditation Center, which is about 2 hours south of St. Louis. And I just arrived here within the last hour or so and got situated in my cabin. The cabin is a super nice space, so really looking forward to staying here to show you a little bit of what we have. We have a nice sleeping area as well as a place to hang up some of our belongings, and then we've got a nightstand and an air conditioner, which is really wonderful that we've got that there. Place to unpack, and real nice door with a sunny window. So I decided to come here because about a year ago I started meditating, and I've been doing this more or less daily, more or less on my own. A couple times I did meditate with a group of people, but I've really been largely on my own for this, and I've gotten really great results. Huge return on the time and effort we put into meditating, at least it has been for me. So I wanted to explore this further, and I've heard about meditation retreats being a really great way to do that. So I came in from Raleigh-Durham this morning and got a ride with someone from the center and a group of other participants from the airport. It's like super lovely people. Now I'm not going to be speaking with them anymore after within a few hours, I think, but doesn't matter. It's still wonderful that I'm going to be here with them and some other people who are arriving by other means. And I think there's going to be about 14 of us total doing the retreat, as well as the teachers and the folks who live here. So this will be something that's a bit new for me because I'm going to be doing a different type of meditation than I have been doing for most of the year, and that is this beginning instructions for loving kindness meditation. So it's a metta meditation, and this instruction book is by Bhante Vimalaramsi, who, for lack of a better term, it was the person who was the leader or the lead teacher here, as I understand it. After the 9 days, I'm sure I'll be able to explain that a little better and give a better history. But it is a loving kindness meditation. I had been doing a focusing on the breath type of meditation that is maybe, if I'm using the terms correctly, more of a concentration method. That's what I've been doing for most of the year, and then I had switched over to this method just more recently. So the one thing, though, that's important, as I understand it, is not to be stressed about having to perform the meditation correctly. We should do it correctly, and the correct way to do it should be coming just by letting that happen and letting that come. So there's, again, been a huge benefit that I've experienced from doing the meditation, and even in terms of thinking about the approach to meditation, like not getting stressed about it, letting it come to us and not forcing things. And as a driven person, an impatient person by nature, this is a very good practice for me, and I think for many others too. But I will be adjusting to this type of meditation, and I'm looking forward to the experience. Like I said, I think I have a little bit of nerves about that, just because I've never done anything like this before. But it's a very welcoming and comforting environment. I'm not concerned about giving up the phone or being out of communication. I've taken care of things back home with the business, that everything is well under control, and I have no doubt that this practice is only going to benefit me and therefore benefit my business and my clients and my family and the world more broadly. I think this is something that we should have a ripple effect. So again, I will be here for 9 days. I don't know what will happen, what the experience will be like. Of course, I do not know if I will record another video when I finish with the retreat. If the Spirit moves me to do that, then I will do that. If not, then I don't feel pressure to do that. And I don't even know if I'll share this video or what I would do with it. But since in the last year I have gotten comfortable making videos, that's something that I do for my business on a regular basis now. So I actually kind of enjoy it and happy to document what I'm experiencing here in this moment. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, I'm back, and I had a wonderful experience at my retreat at the Dhamma Sukha Meditation Center. I would like to share a bit about it, but if you know my channel, you know that I share career advice specifically for professors who need to get their research funded. So I'm going to share about this retreat in the context of what we can learn about our careers. So I'm thinking about this as a title, maybe, meditation retreat, takeaways for your career, and the subtitle of lessons relearned. Because we're all adults here, and some of the points I'm going to make, I think they're ones that we know at some level, but it can often be very helpful to revisit these topics or these ideas because they kind of seem to keep coming up in life and work and career and the things that we do. So now keep in mind when I go through these, and there's a very active and adorable kitten here making an appearance. I am not an expert in meditation. I have been meditating for 1 year and have gotten good results, and obviously I'm continuing to meditate, but please understand that what I share here is my personal experience. I am an expert in helping university professors get their research funded, so there's a bit of an asymmetry here. Okay, so 5 takeaways. These 5 takeaways and these 5 lessons relearned that we'll keep relearning, I'm sure. So 1, get help. If you want to sit down and have some quiet time and do meditation on your own, I would never discourage anyone from doing that. Certainly many people find that effective for them. But if you're doing that and you want to learn more and you start looking into information, trying to gather information on how to do your meditation, what way you want to take it, the history of these practices, etc., like I did and started to look for that information, you may well find that it's confusing. And the reason for this, well, there are many reasons, but a huge one at a very high level is that there are thousands of years of history and tradition behind these practices, and they are the literature that relates to this has been translated from many different languages, and there's terms that are used one way in one context and then used a different way somewhere else, so it can be very confusing. And that is why asking for help and going to a source of information where you can get consistent information will help you. And that's what I've done by going on this retreat. So in terms of our careers, it is also very important to get help when you feel like you're struggling, because our career paths nowadays have become very specialized. And what that means is that there's really a big hidden curriculum associated with many different careers and things that you need to accomplish within those careers, like getting your research funded, for example. A hidden curriculum is information that you need to have to be successful at something, but that's not explicitly taught. And this can lead to people really getting frustrated and not having the success they're looking for and trying to do it on their own and kind of just reinventing the wheel and not making the progress. So go to an expert if you need help in your meditation. Go to an expert if you need help in your career. That's what I've done, and I've had really good payoffs from doing that. And that's who I'm the expert, and my team are the experts for clients who need that kind of help. All right, this leads into number 2, follow instructions. So we do usually intend to follow instructions, especially if we've looked up information or we asked for help. And so we want to follow the instructions. But what the problem that often comes in here is that we are intending to follow them, but then we find ourselves maybe not following them closely. And this can be for a variety of reasons. One is that we feel, oh, I already know that, I'm already doing that part right, I'm gonna just skip over this, and this is the part that I really need, so I'm gonna move on to this and focus there. So The other problem that you can have is following instructions, but then not going and maybe getting some progress, but then not going back and reviewing them when you're further along. So, because you'll get something new out of those instructions when you yourself are at a different stage of whatever process you're trying to advance in. And I found this to be very much the case with the meditation retreat, where I thought, oh, I am following the instructions. But then I found, okay, if I'm really trying to be objective here, I'm not exactly. Or when I would look at some instructions that were printed, like in a little booklet, and read them again after I'd had more experience, I found new, really wealth of knowledge and new, really useful perspective that I didn't pick up on the first time. So how this can relate to the career, I'm going to give you an example from working with my clients, or even prospective clients, right, who are thinking about working with our team. So they feel like they have a big goal in mind of perhaps getting a proposal funded. So this is a proposal to do research. And they will say, hey, Julia, can you just help me with this one submission, this one proposal? I have this one project that I just need help getting this done. I don't want to do the other stuff. I don't want to do the other parts of your program. I don't really think I need help with this or that or the other. And then we tell them, no, actually, you can't get the help unless you do the entire program, because there is a reason for that. There is preparatory work that we do with clients. And so one of two things can happen, right? If you're going to work with someone and you're not going to give them the full program, give them everything from the beginning, either they will miss that information and then not have success, or you will end up delivering that information to them because there's really no way to do, for example, the proposal well without doing the preparatory steps. And so this is very much true, I find, with meditation as well. So always a lesson to relearn. Okay, now here's a big one for a meditation retreat center. Create a supportive environment. So it has been wonderful here at the center to experience the supportive environment in terms of the physical environment and the fellow meditators. There is no game room here. There's no movie night. So this really makes it easier to put the focus on what we're here to do, which is develop and improve the meditation practice. So similarly, when you are needing to get things done in your career, you should be asking yourself, am I setting up the right environment that's going to support me as best as possible? For example, I work with many clients who, upon getting to see their workspace and how they're working and getting things done, I find that they are working really quite a lot off of a small laptop. Now, they may have a workstation in their office that outside of the home, but perhaps they haven't taken the time, made the space, or make the purchase they need to get a proper workstation in their home or at another site where they're actually performing hours and hours of work. So giving yourself the physical environment that's going to help you get work done is very important, as well as giving yourself the time on the calendar. If you don't have the time blocked and designated on the calendar to do these things that you need to do to advance, it's going to be much, much harder to get that done. And the center here has done an absolutely amazing job of making it as easy and desirable to spend time meditating as they possibly could. And of course, that's what this space was designed for. So the thing here that where you really end up paying the price if you don't do that is in the category of things that are important but not urgent. And getting your research funded is often important but not urgent. Things can feel urgent when they get to a certain stage and you're really struggling, but you really want to approach that as an important, not urgent task. And these are the things that can really get squeezed out and then create very stressful situations. So, number 4, we're moving to taking action in your daily life. So with the meditation practice, we were told by the experts here that it is very important how we're approaching things and responding to things in our daily lives, and this is going to help us with our practice. And now, in your daily life, in terms of career, you should be thinking about those little things each day, like maybe sending a few connection requests on LinkedIn, trying to have some networking conversations that are low stress. These are the kinds of things that, while not big events, they will build and you will find yourself preparing for those big opportunities. Another one here really is volunteering with various organizations related to your career that can help you expand your network. And you can do this almost in the background as you go about everything else that you feel is a real high priority or a mandatory type thing that you're doing. And these practices will pay rewards when you do get to the point where you need to make something happen, or you'll find more opportunities coming to you instead of feeling like you have to chase down those opportunities constantly. Okay, number 5, I think my favorite one here. This is huge. So know that you will see success as you work towards a big goal. So if you're doing meditation, you may be thinking about different types of goals that you could want to achieve from that, including some very big goals, like a spiritual goal. But you may feel like that goal is far off. And this is so similar to a lot of clients, people in other careers who have a career goal like getting their proposal funded or getting a new title, getting a promotion, really achieving something significant in their career. And thinking that when I get to that point, that is really when everything will be better for me. When the reality is that when you start making progress towards these goals, you start seeing benefits immediately. When I started meditation, I felt that the meditations sessions were basically a disaster. There were so many different thoughts coming from all different directions in my head, images popping up, lights going off, the chaos. And it made me feel, how could anything productive be coming from this experience? And this is not an enjoyable experience. So what is the point of doing it? And I wanted to get to the point where the meditation would be an enjoyable experience, but I was not at that point. So it really surprised me when I had an experience on an airplane. And this was about a couple months into the meditation, but I had not been on an airplane in a couple months. So I'd had some time away from the airport and sitting in those seats. And I had a flight that was about 3 or 4 hours. And I realized that I felt so much less restlessness in the seats than I had ever in my experience on airplanes. So while previously I was not a nervous flyer, I didn't have consider myself having a problem with flights. I took flights whenever I needed to without issue. But of course most of us, I think, feel uncomfortable, on the airplane in some sense. So that was just a given that I would feel that way. And when I experienced the lack of restlessness and desire to get up and desire to get up and try to get out of the cabin, as quickly as I possibly could to escape that environment, it really struck me that I was responding to things much differently. And I also had lots of other experiences, in the line, in the store, having more patience, responding rather than reacting to things. And maybe these aren't really surprising results to get from meditation, but what was surprising to me was that even when the meditation seemed to be going terribly, it was leading to good results. In terms of career, what you can expect to see are successes along the way towards a big career goal as well. And these can come in many different forms, depending what line of work you're in. For our clients, they, again, like I said, are trying to get a big proposal funded. Now, that is something that's on a timeline of 6 to 12 months, because that's just what the timeline for these kinds of processes are, and there's nothing you can really do to speed that up. So that can seem a ways off. But in reality, once they start doing the things that they need to be doing to reach that goal, they start to see little successes. Like maybe they win a small award of even just a few $1,000s, from their institution to support a partial student or something like that. Just these little successes. They find themselves having conversations with the people that they need to be connected with, and they really get themselves into a new normal. And what this is actually doing is it's helping them, and as we progress towards these goals, speaking for all of us, it's helping us become the person that we need to become to be at that goal. And that doesn't mean necessarily a better person. It means acquiring new skills, new capabilities, and becoming comfortable in new types of situations. So when I previously was a federal employee, and now I'm a small business owner, so I needed to become a different kind of person in many ways to be doing what I'm doing now and having success compared to what I was doing before. And it doesn't mean that I'm a better person now, but I certainly have developed a lot of new skills that I did not have, and I didn't need them in those skills in my old job. Okay, so wrap this up. I will recap what we have here. We've got 5. Get help from experts when you have something confusing going on in your career. It's very likely that there's information out there, people out there who can help you, and you're lacking that information, and that is a big reason why you're struggling. When you get help, follow the instructions. It's not to say that you're being, you're disobedient because you're not following the instructions. We want to follow the instructions, but it's easy for them to get away from us, to get carried away in what we're doing and forget to come back to the instructions. Create a supportive environment. Think about what you actually need in your physical environment, in your calendar, to support you in your goals, and then take the time and the resources to make that happen, and that will be huge returns there. Take the actions, number 4, in your daily life. These are the small things that we do each day that build up to a big result, and not as opposed to the approach of I'm going to forget about all of this stuff and not worry about it, and then when I need to do something, I'm just going to pick up there and try to do everything all at once. It just doesn't not work so well. And finally, know that you are going to see success on the way to your goal. So this is something that should be encouraging, because you don't need to wait all the way till a year from now or whenever it may be till you're where you want to be, and you think that everything is going to be better at that point in time. Actually, things are going to start getting better, and then it's just going to be natural that you win that award. You hit that goal that you're looking for. That's going to be a natural outcome of all of the great stuff that you've been doing. So I hope this video was interesting from a different perspective than I usually share on my channel, bringing in a little bit of the personal here. But I've had a wonderful experience at the retreat center at Dhamma Sukha, and I would like to thank everybody here, and I'd also like to thank my fellow retreat participants. It was wonderful to spend time with these folks. Thanks.